Hello, I'm Catherine Bruce. Today we continue the conversation about industrial lighting for the Bright Ideas series. Back again is Tony Gineris, the Vice President for Industrial Lighting at Acuity Brands. And joining him is Jacob Palombo, the Director of High Bay Lighting. Last time we detailed the important considerations for industrial spaces. Today I'd like to start by examining the competitive landscape. Tony, how has the industrial lighting industry changed over the last few years?
So when I think of that question, I like to look at it in terms of the lighting market, the industrial lighting market. And in 3 short years, there's been a lot of change. When you go back to 2016, the makeup of the market was such that there were about 5 main lighting players. And those main lighting players made up about 90% of the market at that time. And they had industrial focused, geared towards industrial application type of products. At that same time, there was a big conversion into the LED market, and there were a lot of other companies that were coming in, and I like to call them import and rebrand type companies, meaning that they import the product and they rebrand it, putting it into their own boxes and then sell it. At that time in 2016, they only made up about 6% of the market.
Pretty small.
If you fast forward to end of 2019 to where we are today in 2020, those same import and rebrand companies make up almost 20% of the market. And that's at the expense of those main players that have the product that was geared towards that industrial segment.
That's interesting. So why should your customers be concerned about this trend? Jacob?
Yeah, Catherine. So there's a few reasons why a customer may be concerned about this trend. First of all, a customer is going to want to make sure that the lighting manufacturer is going to be around and going to be there to stand behind the product, support the product. We're constantly seeing a lot of flux in these import type rebrand companies entering the market, exiting the market, changing their names, going out of business. So there's a lot of flux there, and that could be concerning when your company that you chose is not around anymore. The second main thing is there's a common misperception today that really all industrial products are the same. And I think there's a lack of understanding about what's really required for a product to perform in industrial spaces where there are challenges of power quality and high temperatures. These are much different than air-conditioned controlled environments like residential or indoor. And so these products we're seeing are optimized all around cost, and they're eliminating at the expense of cost some really key features that the product needs to perform in industrial spaces. This is like proper surge protection, making sure the fixture can withstand a lot of the challenging power quality environments that exist. They're using inferior grade components, so commodity LEDs and drivers. This is going to lead to poor lumen maintenance and early failure and degradation of the product. And then finally, a lot of these companies are just rebranding generic product that are insufficiently designed for heat dissipation. Can the fixture keep itself cool so the components are able to perform and last? And so when you ignore all of these features, what you're going to see is early failure. You're going to see early degradation, excessive light loss. And so it's really important to consider these factors, and that's a big concern for the customer who may get stuck with one of these budget high bays. The third thing is when we're looking at a lot of these import type products, a lot of these spec sheets seem to be very inaccurate and even non-transparent. The big question from a customer standpoint is, do you know what you're really buying? Spec sheets seem to make claims about surge, about temperature, about lifetime. But when we see the fixture, it's actually not labeled for any elevated ambient temperature. The lumen maintenance hasn't been tested properly to TM21 standards. And so it's really buyer beware. The old saying is really true here. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. We actually addressed this in another episode. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely tune into that one. And then finally, when you buy a product, you're buying a warranty as well. And the big question is the company still going to be around? Are they going to stand behind that warranty? And is the warranty actually meaningful? Is the fine print something you should be concerned about?
What are you seeing about warranties out in the market right now? That's a good topic there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's all boils down to the fine print, and a lot of the warranties we're seeing from some of these import type products, they don't cover the failures due to power quality issues. However, the fixture doesn't contain the proper front end surge protection to mitigate those power quality issues. So that's a major concern. We've also seen a lot of warranties cap the hours at 12 hours a day. And so if you're using the fixture for longer than that, then that warranty is voided. And typically in this industry, the install warranties last a year, and the product is claiming a much longer life. But if the fixture fails in the first 2 years or 3 years, that's really bad for the customer, and that could put the reputation, of the installer on the line. So a lot of the warranties are very suspect, and you've got to be wise to really what you're buying.
So it seems like there's a lot of interesting language and limitations. I have to ask, what is the craziest warranty you've seen out there?
Yeah, we've seen some warranties where on the spec sheet, the fixture claims to be able to withstand up to 50 C ambient. And when you read the warranty, it actually is voided if the fixture is used above a 35 C ambient. And so, that really is a major concern if you're buying that fixture. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is really about the actual ambient listing of the fixture. And you may see something on the spec sheet that says it's rated to 50, but if the fixture is not labeled, you really don't know, if that fixture can perform in that level. And so, the warranty there would be, very difficult to exercise.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to add on to that. You got to be real careful about how it's worded. Mm-hmm. I've seen them claim that the fixture can operate at 50 degrees C. Well, when they say operate, that literally means it'll turn on. And so to Jacob's point above, if it's void, if used above 35 degrees, but it can operate at 50 C because it'll turn on, all that does is mean it'll turn on, and it doesn't tell you anything about how long it'll last and how much light output there would be and all that due to that prolonged exposure to the heat. So that's something that's tricky out there. And I guess when I sum it up and you talk about the warranty, if somebody offers a warranty that's longer than they've been around as a company, mm-hmm. that to me is cause for concern. Right.
So a lot of interesting language in the warranties, companies making long warranties longer than they've been around. What happens when these import brands can't back the warranty?
Well, first and foremost, whoever chose to use them, be it the distributor, be it the contractor, when there's an issue, they're the ones that are going to have to write a check. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to pay out of their own pocket for the claim that's on that site and take care of it. And I've seen many instances where, there's been large claims, there's been small ones. I've seen them as big as somebody having to write a check for over $100,000. And that came directly out of their own pockets. So while they may choose to use these products on the front end to save a few bucks and put a little money in their pocket, it could really end up costing you on the back end. And, when you think of costing you on the back end, that's not only cost in terms of writing the check, it's loss of reputation. Mm-hmm. You kind of hurt yourself in terms of that. So you want to avoid that and be careful with that. And when we talk about an industrial setting, I know we've said it, before, but it's not like your typical residential or your typical commercial office application. These are harsher environments. So in an industrial setting, it is inevitable that you are going to have issues. It's just a matter of when. So you want to be doing business, and you want to pick somebody who stands behind their warranty. They've got that proven track record, and they're actually going to be there for you when you need them.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you both for joining us today. You've really explained that the increased fragmented market gives the buyers more choices, but it's definitely buyer beware in that case. So thank you both for all of the insights today. Join us again for a look at what goes into designing and developing a product for industrial spaces in our next episode. Thank you.